Hi guys, Charlie here. Do you think you know what's in your backyard? You probably think you do. But so did these people. That was until they made amazing discoveries in their backyard that changed their lives. From people who got filthy rich thanks to finding amazing treasure in their backyard, to terrifying animals people found in their backyard. And one man even discovered a gigantic, mysterious egg. Let's take a look at the strangest things people found in their backyard. Alligator. Imagine this. It's 4 in the morning and you're woken up by a splashing noise outside. You go out to your backyard to inspect the noise, but instead of finding kids pool hopping, you see a gigantic alligator. That's what happened to the owners of a house in Florida in 2018. The alligator was a massive 10 feet in length. The family was terrified, so they rushed back inside. They immediately called an alligator expert to come and remove the massive creature from their pool. While they were waiting, they took many photos and videos and posted them to social media. The terrifying sight went viral. Eventually, the Animal Rescue Service showed up, and it took them 6 hours to get the alligator out of the pool. After all, alligators can be incredibly dangerous, and even experts need to handle them with great care. Eventually, the alligator was sent to a special farm, but the family were left too scared to use their pool for many weeks. Money bag. Wayne Savage was an unemployed carpenter. One day he was in his backyard in Illinois. He was gardening, picking some broccoli he'd planted. But that's when beneath the earth he found a bag. When he looked inside, he realized his bad luck had changed. Inside the bag was $150,000. But Wayne was a good and honest man. He did not simply take the money, but instead reported it to the police. The police told him that if no one claims it by the end of 2012, then Wayne could keep the money. But soon after, Wayne's neighbor Dolores Johnson said that the money was hers. His 87-year-old neighbor said that she'd buried the money because it was haunted. Eventually, the case went to court, and the judge said that Wayne deserves the money. But just 10 days before claiming the money, Wayne passed away from diabetes. The judge then said that his neighbor Dolores Johnson should get the money, but she also passed away before she could claim it. So maybe she was right all along and the money was actually cursed. After all, the two people who were set to receive it both passed away. In the end, half of the money went to Wayne's son, and the other half went to Dolores' daughter. Let's hope they're both safe and don't meet the same fate as their parents. Missile. One day, a woman named Linda DeForest was gardening. She had only recently moved into the house, but when she was clearing out the garden, she noticed a strange object buried in the dirt. She soon realized it was an artillery shell. At first, Linda assumed it was merely a casing. But luckily, Linda's neighbor Joshua Blankenship was a war veteran. Joshua was able to inspect the projectile, and he quickly realized that it had not been neutralized. This meant the explosive could go off at any time. Linda immediately called the police, and they sent a bomb disposal unit. The missile was taken to a safe place and was blown up. But to this day, it's still unknown how a missile ended up in a normal suburban backyard. Nuclear bunker. In 2013, a family in Wisconsin found something strange in their backyard. In their backyard, they found a mysterious metal door. When they cleared some shrubbery, they found out that it was a nuclear bunker. It was a very large and fully stocked fallout shelter. These bunkers were pretty popular in the 1960s. This was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Many Americans believed the Soviet Union was going to nuke the USA, so that's why many families purchased nuclear bunkers. Most of these have since been destroyed, but the Wisconsin family who found this were stunned. They actually waited a few years before going down into the bunker. There could be scary animals living down there, but one day their curiosity was just too much to contain. They went down and had a look around. They found food, cleaning products, candles, and more. Basically anything you would need to survive nuclear fallout. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe and join the notification squad too. It really does help me out. Mystery giant egg. In 2015, a man from Argentina named Jose was in his backyard. That was when he noticed a strange object. It was in the canal that backed onto his yard. He thought it looked like a meteorite or a dinosaur egg. Jose went back inside his house and told his family what he'd seen. But when he said he'd found a dinosaur egg, his whole family laughed. The object was covered in mud, but Jose eventually dug it out. Eventually, Jose called experts to examine the specimen. They determined that it was not an egg, but instead the shell of an extinct animal. The shell was that of a glyptodont. Glyptodonts died out over 12,000 years ago. The shell was in great condition. That's because it had been preserved in clay soil for many years. Gold coins. You never know, you might have untold riches hidden in your backyard. That was the case for one San Francisco couple in 2014. Under a tree in their backyard, they found many gold coins. Their discovery is considered the best treasure find in US history. There were 1,500 of these coins, and they were solid gold. In total, the coins were worth $10 million. Snake's Den. In 2009, Ben and Amber Sessions moved into a new house in Idaho, USA. They moved in and they were liking their house. But their dream home soon turned into a nightmare. In their backyard, they discovered many snakes. These snakes soon began to infest their house. In one day, Ben had to kill 43 snakes. Snakes were in every room of their house and even inside their walls. At night, the couple would hear rustling sounds as snakes slithered inside their walls. It turned out the house's previous owners knew about the snake dens in the backyard, but they did not tell Ben and Amber before they moved in, and in the end, Ben and Amber moved out. Ancient skeleton. We all know Native American burial grounds can sometimes be considered cursed. That's why a Canadian couple were scared when they discovered one in their backyard. They first found an ancient skeleton, and as they began to dig more and more, they found an entire burial ground. It turned out the skeleton had been in the earth for 1,600 years. Mastodon Bones. In 2012, two boys named Eric and Andrew from Michigan were playing in their backyard. That's when they found a strange-looking rock in their backyard. But they soon realized it was not a rock, but instead an animal bone. They showed it to their dad, who is a doctor. He confirmed it was a bone, but not one that he recognized. So they called a paleontologist to examine the bone. It was later revealed that it was part of a neck bone of a mastodon. The bone was a whopping 13,000 years old. Mastodons were gigantic animals that lived in America during the Miocene. They are very similar to the woolly mammoth, and this bone was an amazing find. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the most amazing find in this video. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.